Well, are you on Team Cap or Team Iron Man? And who will win? Also, hail Hydra! Oh wait, no, please don't do this, please don't take this video down!
Oh, son of a dirtbag.
Well, it's time to talk about the movie that I was most excited for in 2016. Captain America Civil War. After the dumpster fire that was Batman vs. Superman, yes, I know people like that movie, but that movie was garbage in my opinion. We got this movie, which made me completely satisfied. And unlike Batman vs. Superman, we didn't have two characters stop fighting over them having the same names for their mothers. Seriously, what was the point of that scene? That scene was so stupid. But, seriously, what's the plot of this movie? Well, after an event where Scarlet Witch accidentally kills some people by accident in a battle, the government decides to pass on the Sokovia Accords, which basically allows the government to control the Avengers and tell them what or what not to do. Like, say, for example, they pretty much tell them that, hey, you can go to this person, but you can't do that and that and that. Half of them want to sign it, that being Tony and his other team members, but Cap is one of the people who don't sign it since he thinks it's not right. Since in Winter Soldier, he knows how corrupted the government can be. Since in Winter Soldier, Hydra pretty much took over S.H.I.E.L.D. So, yeah. Also, did I mention that, Bucky is still in this franchise, and he was blamed for an attack where basically the King of Wakanda got killed? Yeah, and basically the government is trying to capture Bucky, but Steve knows that he's innocent. It's now a battle to see who can get to Bucky first, either Cap or Iron Man, to see if he will be safe, or see if he will be a nuisance. So, what do I think of this movie? I think it is amazing. I only have one problem with this movie, and that's with the person who gives off the Sokovia Accords, Lieutenant Thunderbolt Ross. Now, here's what he does. He says that basically that the Avengers are out of control and have too much power. And how does he show this? Well, he shows the Battle of New York from Avengers, which, might I add, was from intergalactic aliens. They had nothing to do with that. They were fighting against aliens from outer space. And then he shows the stuff from Winter Soldier, which, might I add, Hydra took over S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not their fault that Hydra took over S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, with Sokovia, I can understand that Tony created Ultron, so I can understand what he meant by the whole Ultron thing. And I can kind of understand with the whole thing that happened in this movie with Scarlet Witch. I can understand that. But aren't we forgetting that this guy gave a crazy soldier the abilities of Abomination, who's pretty much the Hulk, who was already mentally unstable soldier, more power, and clearly almost killed millions of people. So, how did this guy be able to be Secretary of the State again?
Qualified? He's a violent, bigoted, mindless old fool. Sounds a bit overqualified. Well, get him here at once.
But other than that, the rest of the movie is amazing. Seriously, you can understand why they side with people. Like, for example, Tony feels guilt about what he did in Sokovia, and he feels bad for Ultron. So him usually being the rebel and now siding with the government is actually kind of interesting. And Captain America, who's usually as a soldier, decides to go against the government. Now that's also pretty interesting in my opinion. Also, this movie introduces both Black Panther and, of course, my man, Spider-Man. And both characters are so well, in my opinion. Seriously, Black Panther does a really good job in the plot. He serves the plot perfectly, and you actually feel like he was a pre-established character before this movie came out. Well, not in the comics, but still, he was in the comics, but still. But seriously, Tom Holland is just fantastic as Spider-Man. I may love Andrew Garfield, and sometimes I may have a hard time deciding between him or Garfield for my favorite live-action Spider-Man, but still, he's just so full of life and so energetic, you can't help but love him. And the scene where Tony recruits him is so well done, in my opinion. And they both have good chemistry, and I swear if I see one of those shippers saying that, oh, Peter X Tony, I will find you and I will beat you into submission. Seriously, those people really creep me out. God, those people are weird. But other than that, still. Also, Bucky is really well in this movie. I do think he does a serviceable plot in this movie, and I do think he's kind of funny with some scenes, like when, for example, Peter is taking both of them on at once, and he captures both of them, and Falcon decides to, hit him with something, and he's all like, "You could have done that earlier? I hate you." Yeah, still. Also, it is kind of sad for Cap, since he's also dealing with the death of his girlfriend, who died of old age. Wow, it's gotta be hard on him, since most of his life was him eating a popsicle. But still, it was really well done in my opinion. Also, the action scenes in this movie are amazing. Stuff, especially the battles where it's between two characters, like say for example the last climax between Tony versus Bucky and Steve. They decided to have the music reflect the type of scene it's at, where basically both characters it's basically a sad tone, and you really feel the emotion. And of course, there's the airport fight, which is just beautiful. Seriously, all these characters interact so wonderfully, and they do such a great job, in my opinion. Seriously, if they didn't talk at all in this fight, you would get bored. Seriously, while the visuals would be nice, it wouldn't be as entertaining if they just sit there being like, you know, something like Batman versus Superman, where all they did was just be like, seriously, why Batman versus Superman? Why were you so disappointing? But still, I love this movie to death, in my opinion. And yeah, I really do, honestly. I think this is so far, not counting the other movies that I haven't reviewed, like Doctor Strange, Volume 2, Homecoming, and the other movies so far. This is so far the best, in my opinion, not counting the other films after this. So, yeah, I really love Captain America Civil War. And most people like to call it Iron Man, Avengers 3, which, yeah, I can understand, even though it doesn't have both Thor and Hulk. But let's face it, they had Thor and Hulk, but the side that had them would automatically win, in my opinion. But still, I just can't help but love this movie, and I'm giving this movie a solid S rank. So, see you all later, where we take a look at Doctor Strange. See you all later, and bye. Okay, I forgot to talk about these two things, and I feel really bad about it. So first is Zemo. I thought he was really good in this film. Basically, I like how he's not just your bland old, oh hey, we're about to punch each other to death, duh. But instead, he's a mastermind. He's basically letting the Avengers fight each other, because he even says in the movie that he knows he can't take them on altogether, because he says that if he fights them, he'll know he'll lose. And I like how, instead of him just being bland and forgettable, he actually has a reasoning for wanting to destroy the Avengers, since his family were victims of the Sokovia attack, and he blames the Avengers for their death, and he wants to get his revenge. So rather than fighting them on, he wants them to fight each other. And having that tape of Bucky killing Tony's parents is actually kind of sad. And them fighting each other makes sense. Unlike in Batman vs. Superman, where Superman could have just said that it's Bruce to Batman, "Hey, Bruce, he has my mother. Lex Luthor has my mother, and her name is Martha." Boom, problem solved. But here, you actually get why then. You actually get why they're fighting, since Tony is angry, and Cap knew about what happened, and he just like, "You knew about it, but you didn't tell me? I'm gonna beat you up." So, yeah, and also let's talk about the Stanley cameo, where basically he's a FedEx delivery guy, and he calls Tony the wrong name by calling him Tony Stank. That's actually kind of funny, until Rhodey repeats the joke twice. Just had to do it, Rhodey. No wonder you were shot by Vision. You ruined a joke. Especially, you ruined a Stanley joke. Now that is horrible, Rhodey. You should have been killed from that beam. But still, I still give Avengers and Civil War an S rank. So see you later when we talk about Doctor Strange. Bye.